Today I'm going to share with you the easiest diet to follow if you want to lose belly fat, and it only requires 3 simple steps. And I know that this diet works because I used it to lose 70 pounds in 9 months. And as you can see, a lot of what I lost was belly fat. I lost so much belly fat, in fact, that once I had lost the weight, I had a lot of loose skin left around my abdomen. And so I ended up having a tummy tuck to remove 1.5 pounds of loose skin because that skin was starting to flap around and impact my workouts. After having the tummy tuck, I used this diet method to then lose an additional 16 pounds. So my weight loss journey this time around has been approximately 90 pounds. And I even use this same diet method to maintain that weight loss even today. So let's get into it right now. Those 3 simple things that you need to do if you also want to lose the belly fat for good. And the first thing that you want to do is follow a macro-based high protein diet. And what this simply means is we're going to count our macros: proteins, carbs, and fats, and not just calories. The thing is, when you're counting just calories, you're only counting a unit of energy, no matter what source it comes from. When you're counting macros, you are ensuring that you are getting the right mix of proteins, carbs, and fats in your diet in order to lose that belly fat. Because remember, not all calories are created equal. 10 calories of ice cream reacts very differently in your body than 10 calories of broccoli. So you have to keep in mind, it's not just a matter of how much you're eating or how many calories you're taking in. The quality of those calories matter. And so we want to make sure that we are getting the right mix of proteins, carbs, and fats, and we're going to do that by counting macros instead. And the reason why you want to focus on high protein is because protein is a building block of muscle. Without protein, you cannot maintain or build muscle through protein synthesis. And the reason why you want to build and maintain muscle is because you burn more calories, you expend more energy at rest when you have more muscle on your body. And so if you're following a high protein diet and you're building and maintaining that muscle, even when you're at rest, you're going to expend more energy, burn more calories, aka burn more fat, and you are going to rapidly shrink the belly fat around your midsection. Now, in order to follow a macro-based diet, what I highly recommend is that you go to the TDEE calculator, and that's at tdeecalculator.net. You plug in your information, you click on the cutting tab because you want to lose weight, and then you follow the tab that says moderate carbs. And you want to follow the one that says moderate carbs because that also means moderate protein. That's going to give you a good balance of protein and carbs. It's going to allow you to shrink that belly fat at a reasonable rate without feeling hungry. Now, that tab also has options for low carb as well as high carb. Now, if you pick low carb, that means you're going with a very high protein diet and a very low carb diet. And sometimes when we cut carbs to the extreme, we feel like we're depriving ourselves. And so that's why I don't recommend following the low carb option. Now, on the converse, you also have the high carb option, which gives you more carbs and less protein. Now, you can follow this option if you like. Just know that it will slow down the rate of your weight loss because you are eating more carbs and less protein. That's why I always recommend just using the moderate carb tab because it gives you a great balance of carbs as well as protein. Now, once you have your targets for protein, carbs, and fat, you want to plug those targets into a food tracker, something like MyFitnessPal or Lose It, any of those trackers that allow you to plug in your daily macro goals. And then you just want to eat whole unprocessed foods, foods in their most natural state, and then you log those foods into MyFitnessPal or whatever food tracker you're using, and you track your food intake against those daily goals, always with the focus of hitting your protein target. What I have found on my journey is that as long as I'm hitting that protein target every day, then I'm coming pretty close to hitting those other macro targets as well. And again, I was able to successfully lose 70 pounds in 9 months by doing this very thing. Now, the next thing that you want to do is cut out processed sugar, and that is just completely cut out any type of refined or added sugar. And you know what I'm talking about. The cakes, the candies, the pies, the ice cream, all of those things that we love that taste good but are not good for us. And the reason why this refined sugar isn't good for us is because it spikes our blood glucose, and the body's reaction to that is to inject insulin into our bloodstreams. And then there's a crash where you're now craving more sugar. And what do? Then we eat more sugar, and then the body does it all over again, starts injecting that insulin into the bloodstream. And then at some point in time, your body decides there's just so much sugar coming into the bloodstream, it is just more efficient for me to store it all as fat. Instead of trying to pump more insulin into the bloodstream to break up and combat the sugar, everything that comes in, we just gonna push it into the midsection. We just gonna push it into the abdomen, and we're gonna store it as belly fat. When I look back at my before pictures and you see all of that belly fat, it was nothing but sugar. I was constantly consuming sugar every single day, had to have it no matter what. I was, eating all of this sugar that wasn't good for me, the cakes, the candies, the pies, the donuts. I was drinking the sugary Starbucks drinks, the Frappuccinos. I was drinking sweet tea because I'm a Southern girl and that's what we do. But I was drinking sweet tea with so much sugar in it. And then, I would wash it down with some trail mix because, that has the salt plus the sugar of the little candy pieces. And then, I would drink coffee and I would add the sugar and the cream to the coffee. It was insane. So when I look back at those pictures, when you see that belly on me, it was all sugar. Only when I stopped eating that processed sugar did I finally start to lose that belly fat. And what's interesting is that even when I had that belly fat and I was eating all of the sugar, I was working out every day. And I thought that, by working out every day, I could just kind of eat what I wanted. And, it didn't matter that I was eating sugar every day. But no, I had the problem where I was losing and regaining the same 5 pounds. But when I stopped eating that processed sugar and I started to follow this macro-based high protein diet, that was the moment when I was finally able to see some progress in my weight loss. That was the point in time where I was actually able to reduce the belly fat and get rid of it for good. And so you have to eliminate that refined sugar, processed sugar, added sugar from your diet. And the best way to do that is by following that macro-based high protein diet that we talked about in step 1. Now, if you're interested in checking out the macro-based high protein diet that I actually use to not only lose the 70 pounds in 9 months and the additional 16 pounds, but also to keep it off right now, click on the link in the video description and download that today. And the third component of this diet plan that will help you to lose the belly fat for good is to increase your water intake. A lot of us, and myself included, do not drink enough water during the day. And I was very bad about this before I started my weight loss journey. And during the course of my weight loss journey, I actually started out by drinking drinking a gallon of water a day. Now that was way too much. That's completely excessive and I don't recommend you do that. It is completely adequate to drink the recommended 64 ounces of water a day, and that is just simply 8-ounce glasses of water. Now, drinking enough water during the day helps weight loss in several ways, and one of those ways is reducing your calorie intake. By drinking enough water during the day, it actually helps to suppress your appetite. So you're not as inclined to reach for something to snack on and consume empty calories. Replacing sugary drinks like soda and juice and sweet tea also helps you to eliminate unnecessary calories from your diet. Now, drinking water can also help to boost your metabolism simply because your body expends energy just to warm up the water once you drink it. Remember when we were talking about burning more calories simply while at rest? That is exactly what happens when we are adequately hydrated. Water also helps to improve fat burning because it helps to break down and transport fat for energy. It reduces bloating by helping us to flush out toxins and waste from our bodies. And staying hydrated also helps us increase our endurance during exercise because it prevents fatigue, which allows us to burn more calories. Now, drinking water alone is not the magic bullet, but it is absolutely one of the critical 3 components to this diet plan that will help you to burn this belly fat for good. And if you're interested in checking out this exact diet plan that I use along my weight loss journey, click on the link in the video and download that today. Now, the key to getting maximum results on any diet plan is consistency. You can't follow it 1 or 2 days a week and expect the results that you're looking for. You have to follow the plan over and over again, day in and day out, to get the results that you desire. So keep that in mind when you're following this diet plan to lose belly fat. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. If this video has been helpful to you, take a moment and give it a thumbs up so that I know that you like this type of content and I'll continue to make more of it. And if you haven't joined the Get Fit community yet, take a moment and hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you here as part of our community. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.